Hello, and welcome back to another episode of International Immersion, a podcast that seeks to capture the combined experiences of people, culture, places, traveling, current events, living abroad, and much, much more. For today's episode, we're going back to another old topic and premise, and that is we have a multicultural couple on today, this time from China and Japan, and they're going to talk a little bit about their relationship and how it started, developed, and where they are to this day. I find that, meeting and interviewing couples like this gives a great insight into just how people from different backgrounds can get together and they can make things work and learn a lot about each other. So, guys, it's great to have you on today. I'm really happy you're taking this time. I know it's late in Japan and early here to talk with me.
Hey, guys. I'm Grace. I came from China. And I used to study in California before. Now I moved to Tokyo in Japan because my husband is Japanese. Today, I'm really happy to share about my experience living in Japan.
Hey guys, I am Tokyo from Tokyo, Japan. I used to live in some countries before us. And now we are living in Japan with my Chinese wife in Tokyo.
So you are both in Japan together, but you both have traveled and it seems like studied in different places before. So that's great. Mm-hmm. So it's great to have you on today. I'm sure there's a lot of interesting things you guys will delve into. So first and most important thing is, how did you guys meet?
That's a nice question, actually. We met each other during traveling in Okinawa in Japan. Okinawa is an island city.
Yeah, Okinawa is one of the island city, the biggest island city in Japan.
Yes, Okinawa is quite famous. I know the capital.
Yes, which is very tropical island in Japan.
Yeah, and I traveled to Okinawa by myself, and I just want to have a relaxing vacation. And during that time, I met my husband. He traveled there with another 2 Chinese girls, and Fortunately, I started to talk with those 2 Chinese girls, and they introduced me to my husband. So 4 of us started to travel together in Okinawa. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, at that moment, actually, you talked with that another 2 Chinese girls. Chinese girls.
Yeah.
I didn't be over there. After that, after I came back from the outside, I just met with you in the lobby.
Yeah,
we are living in the hostels.
We live in hostel.
Yeah, we are living in the hostels, and we just met each other in the hostels lobby at the first time.
Yeah, they were drinking beer downstairs, and I'm kind of nervous to talk with him at the beginning because I'm not sure if he can speak English well or not. I cannot speak Japanese at all, and he cannot speak Chinese. It's pretty difficult to start conversation.
Yeah, language is always a thing, but like you said, you guys have found you can communicate in English, and I know Grace, you've been learning Japanese and other things those are all things that help and work.
That's right.
But that's funny. I mean, not many couples can say, "Oh yeah, I met my husband and he was with 2 other girls," or he was or something like that, or vice versa. That's definitely a unique situation.
Yeah, I thought at that moment, maybe he's chasing one of the girls, but those girls are very shy. So maybe I was the person too active and outgoing, maybe
They used to live in Japan for a long time, so they look like
Japanese.
They look like Japanese people.
Yeah, their personality is more like Japanese.
That makes sense. I mean, anytime you live in a place to a greater or less extent, you're going to pick up on a lot of those, a lot of things there. Either dress, attire, behavior, demeanor, etc. So that doesn't. But that's kind of fun. Like, oh, two Japanese girls. Oh, they're Chinese. That's cool.
That's right.
So, that's cool. So you guys met in Okinawa in a very unique situation, as you've just described. So I guess how did things develop from there? So you guys met in the hostel lobby. You guys were drinking beer and talking. So how did things go from there?
We just at the WeChat friendship. We just add as a friend on WeChat.
A Chinese social app.
Social app, like WhatsApp.
Yeah, like WhatsApp.
And after that, we started to talk with each other.
To be honest, at the beginning when we met each other on the first set, we are not clicked, right? We are not really like curious about each other the first day, but after 4 days traveling together, our relationship become better. It became better actually. So we leave contact and we just chat a little bit on WeChat since we go back to our own places. And after a few months, he invited me to come to Japan, but I say, why don't you come to China? And I say, you should be more like active than me because you are a man. So you come to visit me. And then he said, okay, I'm going to come to Hangzhou to visit you. Then our relationship started at that moment.
That's cute. And I think a lot of relationships start off like that. You'll meet, you'll talk, and then at first there's either not a lot, but as you get to know each other, you start to like, oh, okay, I kind of like this person, or I'm finding more things that are interesting about them, and things just develop, which seemed to be the case with both of you. So that's cool. So from there, so you visited her in China, and then I imagine you visited him in Japan at some point.
Yeah, after we have already become boyfriend, girlfriend. After 1 year, I visit her parents after 1 year for our engagement.
Oh, wow. Meeting the parents.
Yeah, after 1 year dating, actually.
That's cool. So how long did you guys date before you got married? Was it a year or a little longer?
Only 1 year, actually.
Only 1 year, and I visit China once in every 3 months.
Oh wow, very nice, very consistent. So I'm sure Grace, you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I never take so many flights in my life.
Oh, that's funny, but that's very cute though. So moving on, this is a really important question. I think this will be interesting. So, you talked about how you met, how things developed, how long you guys were together before you got engaged and got married. So how have your backgrounds influenced your relationship? So, or in another way, like each of your opinions, how have each of your backgrounds influenced your relationship, you think?
Actually, my parents are very outgoing and also
open-minded.
Yeah, they are very open-minded. There are a lot of Japanese old person. They are very conservative. They try to be you should get married with Japanese people. It's gonna be better because we can talk each other in Japanese. This is very easy. But my parents are different. They are very more international mind. My name is Tokyo, same name as Tokyo,
city name.
Same city name as Tokyo, because my parents named my name as Tokyo because when I go to the all over the world, everyone can understand my name and easy to remember my name. That's why my parents named my name as Tokyo. So they are very like has an international mind. So it's very for me it's very easy to like get along with like foreign people as family. So
That's
this
good.
is
So
not like a very big
your family dynamic, your background, it because your parents more open-minded and more outgoing in that capacity. That's giving you a much more like open-minded view and or just open to do new things, meet new people, and like you said, I'm sure with work and other things, it allows you to more easily interact with non-Japanese.
Yes, that's right.
And that is definitely one thing. From coming from outside of Japan, that Japan is definitely known for is its conservatism, and at the same time, also liberal is quite extreme. There's definitely some very big extreme, and at least from looking from the outside.
Yeah.
When I grow up, when I study abroad, I met a lot of people from all over the world. But to be honest, at that moment, I never think about one day I'm going to get married with a Japanese guy. But this is a destiny. I feel like, wow. I just started in a relationship with a Japanese guy. He became my husband. It's totally to my big surprise. I didn't plan anything. And I thought in the future, I will definitely get married with a foreigner because I like different culture things. But I thought I'm going to live in a Western country because I really like Western culture. But yeah, this is destiny. I met my husband.
That's a classic example of we never know where life will take us or who we'll meet.
That's right.
So in many cases, you can say each of your backgrounds has aided in your ability to like be together and, have a successful relationship because, Tokyo, you had a family background that was more open and encouraged you to learn and do things. And Grace, you studied abroad, so you had a lot of experience. So that's actually a good combination because that gives you guys some big advantages over many other people. If they hadn't done that or didn't have that background, it would probably make their relationship even more difficult. They'd have to learn a lot very quickly.
That's right. It's very difficult to start a relationship because most of Chinese parents, they wouldn't agree their children to get married to a far country. They thought it's better you stay in our own country. If you live close to me, we can help each other. But if you live in a very far away place, what if your marriage is not happy? And that's such a big challenge for you living in a foreign country without speaking local language. So they have a lot of concern. Yeah, they were trying to let me change my mind at the beginning.
I think, to an extent that's understandable because, for the parents, there's a little bit of fear and uncertainty they'll be concerned about. But at the same time, I think, you have to let your kids do what they want to do. I mean, you can tell them that you can give them advice, but as a parent, once they're of legal age and adult, you can't really tell them what they should do. You can give them advice.
That's right.
I wouldn't do this because this didn't work for me. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. And I think it's up to the individual. And that's good. And that actually leads into the next point. What have been your biggest challenges as a couple?
Wow, culture difference. Absolutely. We have
to receive the cultural difference? To accept the cultural difference?
That's right. It's really difficult to accept each other's culture things.
It's not like a biggest challenge. This is like a forever challenge, I guess. I think so.
In our whole life.
In our whole life.
So maybe you could say like it's not something that's maybe so much directly between you two, but it's more like what's around you guys from where you can, like the culture, cultural surroundings, like Grace from China and then Japanese, just how that influences like a lot of things, like personality wise, not really much an issue, but just your native culture, you could say.
Yeah, actually, so far we cannot speak each other's language very well, and he doesn't understand a lot of Chinese culture, and I also couldn't understand a lot of Japanese culture, and our personality is totally opposite. Japanese people are very shy and more reserved, but Chinese people is kind of more outgoing, talkative, and noisy, to be honest.
Having lived in China, I can certainly attest to that.
Yeah, so we are trying to compromise for each other. That's the biggest challenge in our marriage.
I see. So what would you say are some examples of maybe like how that plays out, or like a normal situation, or anything you want to say?
Wow, that's a lot of things happening.
But actually, we are different person living together suddenly. This must be very difficult for all
Make
the person.
example.
We came from like a different family.
Yeah, just to make example, when we like fight with each other, we were fighting because of what?
It was very small things every time.
Yeah, little tiny things.
Little tiny things. Actually, it's a very little tiny things.
Yeah, actually, we fight a lot. I thought marriage is more difficult than I thought. We fight a lot, but in the end, we always try to compromise for each other.
Well, and that's what matters at the end of the day, is that even if you fight a lot, you still try to work things out, because if couples that don't do that, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, there are a lot of things. For example, when we try to make a decision, I feel like, okay, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this, but I am going to do it. But he's gonna feel like, oh, I don't do it because I feel this is dangerous. You shouldn't do it too. I feel like it's none of your business. I feel like, okay, this is dangerous, but it's my own decision. I'm going to take fully responsibility for myself. I won't force you to do the same thing as me, but you cannot change my mind.
You can just say what kind of things.
No, it's not, because I don't want to the bigger problem happen. So yeah, this is one of the example. But from his point, he thought, I am I just thinking from your side. I just try to do it for you. But from my side, I feel like I don't need it. I want my freedom and I want to make a decision for myself. I think this is a culture difference.
And just, personal differences, habits, culture, temperament, all these things can play factors into that. So that's good. That's a good example, Grace. In Tokyo, what about you? Anything you want to say?
Actually, what she said is about taking the coronavirus vaccine things.
Vaccines.
Yeah, because I don't believe that coronavirus vaccine,
Yes.
So after she took the coronavirus vaccine, when she's going to be something happen, I was worried about this. So I don't recommend her to taking that vaccine. But for her mind, she wants to decide this kind of things by myself. You cannot decide my decision like this. This is very sensitive,
this is a very sensitive
topic.
Oh, it's sensitive everywhere here in the United States, everywhere. So you basically say in a nutshell, you were pro-vaccine and you were not, and you guys had some discussions or disagreements over that whole thing, and that's perfectly fine, because you're each your own individuals. And but like you said, you guys at least talked about it, and it made your opinions clear. And and luckily no side effects or anything else.
In the end, I didn't get vaccine because I don't want worried about me all the time, and I also don't want to make it as an even bigger conflict in the family. So I thought just stop, get vaccine, then no more bigger arguments. I don't want it to happen because we have already have too much things going on happening in Japan and too many times fights. But I totally understand his thinking because he has his own opinion. Yeah, it's really difficult to be on the same page.
My opinion is just I want to save her life. That's it.
And that's fine. You're each entitled to your opinions and to express them.
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate he cherished my life.
That's always an important thing for a relationship, just to cherish each other's ability to maintain existence. And then, here's a good question. So those are basic things. How about habits? Any habits? Like I know a lot of couples. Wow. I can't, like, my wife, my God, or my husband.
Yeah, that's a lot of differences between Japanese and Chinese. I have to say his biggest advantage is very good at doing housework.
Wow, nice. That's awesome.
So professional doing housework. I was very shocked every time when he cleaning up the kitchen and doing like the laundry things. He just do it so well.
Well, Grace, I think you'll have the envy of a lot of women when they hear this.
Yeah, I hope they don't want to kill me. Actually, yeah,
they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome."
That's right. I believe so. But yeah, and he's a very typical Japanese guy, I have to say. The Japanese has a lot of good points. I mean, they know how to make their life to look nice and tidy up. And most of the time, they are in a very good manner, better than me, I have to say. So what about you? Hey, man.
The habit. My first impression is she's always like trying to eat something from the nature seeds, you know. For Japanese people, we don't like pick up like a nature like fruits or seeds, something like this. We never do this. But once we went to the shrine in the countryside, she picked up the lotus flowers. Lotus flowers?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because you encouraged me to pick it up.
Lotus flowers seeds. They pick it up and she just eat it over there.
No, actually, I asked him, "Is it okay?" I think that's very rude to pick it up. But my husband say, "Oh no, it's okay. I want to try it too. Just pick it up." I feel seriously. Here is in Japan. I don't want to go to jail.
Because actually, I was curious about like how she's going to eat up this lotus flower as a raw.
It's kind of like a lotus flower seed. And we used to eat it in Hangzhou a lot, especially in summertime. But I don't dare to pick up the wild plants in Japan because Japanese law is very strict. I don't want to go to jail. But my husband said, it's okay, just do it. I want to try too. And after I did it, he just tell this joke to everyone. Sound like I am stupid. Jesus.
Well, I think one thing I learned about relationships is that you're going to have each person's going to have some good stories that they're going to share to other people that may embarrass or make them laugh. And as soon as one does it, you told that story. Well, hear this story about him or her. But that's cute. So that's a good example. What about like personal habits? Like one thing I found like from past relationships are just the differences like in your daily habits and what you do in the morning, how you prepare meals, things like that. Or like, why do you do it this way? Or why it's like it gives you a lot of questions.
like Japanese people, they like use hot tub every night. They in winter season they take a shower and they use a hot tub every night. That's very different from Chinese. Normally for Chinese, my personal habit is taking a shower in the morning, not in the evening. I don't like wash my hair in the night because I feel it's not comfortable. When I go to sleep, I prefer refresh myself in the early morning to take a shower, hot shower. But for Japanese, they feel take a hot tub is very comfortable before sleep. So this is
this is totally different habits because for Japanese people, you know, in the morning you have to go to the work, so usually you guys don't have enough time. How come you have time to take a shower in the morning? So this is kind of like it's, I cannot like accept it sometimes.
And I will say this is definitely something that's everywhere. Everyone has either people like to bathe in the morning or the evening. I myself like to bathe in the evening because I don't like to sleep after a long day. But sometimes I will shower in the morning as well, especially if it's hot or if I sweat while I'm sleeping. But I think it's just up to personal preference, and time's always a big factor.
There are lots of cultural different things happening. Also about Chinese women, we like doing makeup, but we don't care about the details a lot. But for Japanese lady, they care about details all the time, every moment. They care about their hair, their nail, their makeup, their dress, everything is very feminine. But even for the man, when we get married, he asked me to help him to shave his eyebrow. I was very shocked because I never see any man in China, they care about their eyebrow. Like when I shave my eyebrow, my husband come to me, please help me shave my eyebrow. Usually my barber, he cut my hair and shave my eyebrow. So I want you to help me with that. I was really, you are a man, you really need it?
That's a good example, a great example there. So from what you're describing, we could potentially do a whole episode on just this.
Yeah, that's a culture shock. And when I watch the TV, normally even the Japanese sports player, even they are on a competition, they also like do their a little bit makeup, the eyebrow things and hairstyle. I feel Japanese men, they care more about their appearance than Chinese people.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we all should care about our appearance. It's just a matter of how much we choose to.
That's pretty nice, actually.
No, that's great. And so I take it this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what you guys could talk about. Now, going from that, what things do you most admire and appreciate about each other to flip the coin over?
I appreciate her. I admire her is like she can talk to anyone without hesitating. This is like the things what I don't have. You know, the Japanese people, we always like hesitating to talk with strangers at first, but she doesn't have this kind of mind. Like she can easy to talk, easy going to with strangers.
Anything else? I want to hear more.
you can say next.
Oh, there is only one thing my husband marry me. Oh, I'm really upset. Tell me more about it.
Upset.
Later, please consider about it, okay? I really admire he's very good at housework because I really have no idea how to make it better. When I was in China, my dad was a person doing this. So I'm not good at doing housework. And also the other things is when I was super angry, when we were fighting, he can always fall asleep easily, even we just have a big fight. He can just fall asleep in 1 second, and he has no problem at all. I was very shocked. So he always leave me alone to like, wow, the problem, I have to solve it all by myself. He has a very happy and simple mind. He is very, there are a lot of good things, I have to say. The reason I make up decision to get married with him, because when I did a very big surgery in Hangzhou, before that I told him, I'm going to get a big surgery on my ovary. So probably in the future, I cannot have a baby. If you care about it, maybe we cannot keep this relationship. I have to be honest to you. Can you accept it? Because we never know what's going to happen in the future. And he told me, it's okay. We'll see. We just follow the destiny. And he said he really worried about me. And he decided to buy the flight tickets and take care of me when I'm in the hospital. So I was taken care of. I was taken care of by my dad and him. So that's really impressive, because I'm not sure if there are any other man could accept that I did a big surgery on my ovary, and probably in the future we don't have a baby. It's a really big deal, but he accepted, and he come to Hangzhou for me. He
That's
helped
very
me
sweet.
take a shower.
That's
Yes,
very sweet.
Yeah, he helped me take a shower, and I cannot use water at that moment because I have very big cut on my body. So he just used a wet towel to clean up my body. So at the moment, I was very touched.
At the moment, I met with her dad at the first time.
Yeah.
And
he needs a dad.
While she's taking the surgery, we are waiting in the cafeteria. And both of us, of course, I couldn't speak Chinese at all. And of course, he cannot speak Japanese at all. So I just used Google Translator to talk with each other.
Pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Hey, thank God for technology sometimes.
Yeah.
So that was very sweet to hear. And I think anyone that would really endear a lot of good faith and feelings. I mean, if someone took care of me like that, I'd really appreciate that. So that's very sweet, and I'm really happy you guys were able to do that. And I'm sure that really built a lot of feelings, trust, and respect for each other. What else?
Wow, that's a lot of things actually.
Well, maybe just a few more, or like a few key ones.
Yeah, let me think about it. Actually, when we are living in Japan, I have a lot of difficulties. And I try to get help from him, but he was really busy with work. So I can only study by myself online. And the Japanese teachers are very patient. Yeah, there are a lot of things. Yeah, what about you? Sean, maybe you can ask us more questions. Sorry, we are.
So in a nutshell, those are a few things that you appreciate about each other, and you could say that would translate as that you both have demonstrated your commitment to each other and how to take care of each other, respect each other, and try to learn and grow together as a couple and get through things like if you have a surgery or other extenuating circumstances. So no, that's very important, because if a couple does not have those things, in my opinion, that's not going to work out. So that's a big thing you guys have passed and checked off, which is great. So I guess we can move on to another topic, and that would be, how have your families thought of it? We've already touched on it a little bit, but maybe now that you guys are married, how do each of your family view it in each of your opinions?
How have your family thought of this relationship?
My parents think it's not like a big difference there, because they are very an outgoing person, so they don't care about detailed things. So if I love her, you can just get married get married with her. That's it. Like,
oh, hey, that's great though.
They want like
get involved
get involved in our relationships.
Yeah, I have to say his parents are pretty cool. His mom is a very easygoing mother-in-law, and I can feel he made a lot of efforts to try to help me, and I always feel a lot of appreciation to her. And I don't have a mom, so to be honest, at the beginning, I'm kind of nervous how to get along with her because my mom passed away in an early time, and I'm not very close with my dad. Most of the time, I'm always be alone in my own life. But after we get married, I was very surprised. My husband is really close with his family, and I'm very nervous to get along with his whole family because normally Japanese people are more reserved, and I cannot speak Japanese at all. But his parents can speak a little bit English, and his mom can speak English well. So that's pretty cool for me and makes me feel it's even more convenient to communicate with her.
No, that's very good. And that's always a bit nerve-wracking and fills one with anxiety whenever you're meeting your partner's family for the first time or getting to know them because you're testing the waters, you're trying to see their personality, your personality, and that's definitely a little challenging and, but that in your case, that's really great that you get, now that you live in Japan, that you have developed a good relationship with his parents and family. That's very good and important.
Yeah, my dad also feels like, okay, I have already told you, if you live in Japan, it's going to be even more difficult. Why you choose such a challenging way for your future life? It's better you live in China, it's easier. But I told him, this is my own life. You cannot make decision for me. No one can make decision for me. And I decided to be with him because I think at this moment, he's a person I want to get married with. So I hope you could accept him. My dad said, okay, whatever, as long as he take care of you well and he treat you well, as long as you are happy in this marriage, I accept him for sure. Yeah, he's very easygoing. I appreciate it.
He's really easygoing.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that both your families, were like they did not try to stop or interfere. They were just like, well, okay, I may have some concerns, but it's your life, and if you think this is right, then do it. That's great. Yeah. So then that leads on to my last big question is, what advice would you give to people looking to date someone from a different country or culture? You guys have already, very vividly gone through and talked about things you like about each other, the challenges, your family, how you met. So if someone listening to us now, what advice would you give them if they want to date someone from another place?
No matter like the couple come from same country or they come from different culture, the most important thing is both of them they share same value. That's really important. And also if they come from different culture, they have to learn to respect each other's decision because of the culture shock, the relationship is really difficult. We cannot just say, oh, you have to follow my culture or I have to follow all your culture. It cannot work. We have to compromise for each other all the time. Even sometimes you don't like to do something, but consider his situation. You have to do it. Also, learn to respect each other's family, learn to respect each other's culture. Also, marriage is a lot of things to learn, actually. So I need my whole life to learn about it.
And I think that's one thing that, you can't go into a relationship thinking your culture or your habits are superior. You have to be on a level playing field. And in many cases, I think, a lot of people maybe dread that or fear that, but maybe you could look at it as, wow, this could be a fun learning experience for us both, something interesting and new to learn. And look at it as a positive or something different versus, oh, this is so annoying and tedious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another thing is we have to, before get married, when we dating with each other, it's better they try to live with each other at least 1 year. Then it's really important. But Christian maybe is exception because I'm not talking about religion. I mean, both of us, we don't have a strong religion belief. So we suggest that the people, it's better they could move in together, and they live together. They try to get to know more about each other. And
well, that makes sense because you learn about their habits, how they keep up their house.
Yeah.
They, just all the basic things of life you're going to experience on a day-to-day basis. If you get married, you have to know that, so, I mean, you don't have to do it, but like you said, it's highly recommended.
Yeah, highly recommended. Also, to see if you could accept his disadvantage, because we all love each other's advantage, but the biggest problem to cause the conflict comes from the disadvantage. If you feel like, okay, his disadvantage annoying, but consider his good points, I can accept it. I can try to accept it. Okay, that's going to be great.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is you have to be willing to accept, someone's disadvantages because everyone has them. No one is immune to that. Everyone's going to have their pros and cons. So
that's right.
Respecting each other and saying, okay, maybe my wife has these issues and I have these issues, but as long as we can complement each other, it's fine.
Yeah, it's super important. What about you, Henry?
Me, the advice is just like you shouldn't be scared about to go to the overseas or to contact to she or he like this. This is the most important things, I guess.
Are you scared of that?
I'm not scared of that, but I think this summer is going to be scared about to contact with them first contact, but to go to the overseas to meet with them first time like this.
Anything else?
Just don't be scared. This is the most useful advice, I think.
So you're saying don't be scared about going somewhere and meeting someone, or just leaving where you're from and
Yes.
Oh, I completely agree because unless you travel, you're not going to learn about the world. And like you said, I think back to our earlier point, the fact that Grace, you studied abroad, and then Tokia, you've traveled and have experience overseas, that definitely, I'm sure, has helped your relationship.
Yeah, that's right. If you don't start, it never starts like this.
It gives you more commonality, and it also gives you a wider frame of reference because the more places you go, the more cultures and people you interact with, the more like, oh, I met this person from this culture. Oh, I know this, and this. And they may go, oh my goodness, you know about some of this? That's great. Anything else or any other good advice you'd give?
The biggest important thing is before get married, please consider it very seriously. Don't be impulsive to get married, because once we are just be impulsive to make a decision, there will be a lot of prepared problems come up. For example, before we get married, we didn't think about the culture difference. It's going to be a lot of problems, and we're going to fight about it a lot. So before we are not mature, we are very impulsive to get married. And after we fight a lot, we learned a lot of lessons.
So you're saying that you maybe jumped in a little fast, but despite maybe having some rough periods or some issues here and there, you guys have worked through them.
Yes. So it's better to be mature and consider it very seriously. Yeah. And then decide if you guys are ready to get married or not. Because get married, before we get married, we should learn a lot of things about marriage. Not like us, we are like behave like children, and then we just get married. Oh Jesus, a lot of problems.
Well, I mean, I know you've reiterated that there are a lot of problems, but just from talking to you two, I can definitely tell you guys appreciate each other and have a lot of affection toward each other, and you get through that. You can get through the challenges, and I think that's the other thing is that a lot of couples have a lot of problem with is they have a hard time getting past them, and because a lot of times there'll be animosity, enmity, and other things that can tear relationships apart. So that's a good thing. And yeah, and I think what you also demonstrated is that if you're dating someone from a different place, different customs, beliefs, traditions, you need patience.
That's right. To be honest, I feel I don't have a lot of patience when we just start a relationship. Every time when we fight, I feel like, okay, game over.
Oh, no.
I always like, oh my God, I cannot see any future. I feel like this way because I'm immature. But my husband, he put a lot of patience in this relationship. So I really appreciate it.
You know, I've heard some really funny things couples do whenever like they have a problem. There was an interesting one where it was a couple, I think the wife was Chinese, and I forgot where the husband was, but whenever she get really upset, he had a friend make a sign in Chinese he'd hold up. He was really upset. And I was kind of thinking, I'm like, maybe that might work, but that might make her a little more angry.
But, yeah, it's by the way, another suggestion is when you guys fight with each other, don't try to call your parents. For example, if I fight with my husband, I don't want him to call his parents or call his sister to ask for help, because I feel like, oh my God, this is our problem in our marriage. If you call your parents or your sister, this is gonna become a bigger problem. And if I told my dad I'm fighting with him, my dad's gonna have a problem with him. I don't want it to happen. It's gonna make it too complicated. So I think when the young couple, they fight with each other, don't try to get our parents involved in. That's gonna make it worse. Yeah, parents are always innocent. Don't just get involved, get them in this kind of things, this kind of crap things.
Yeah, I definitely can understand that, because some issues, yeah, you certainly can do, but if it's something that's just primarily between the two of you, there's no need unless it gets really bad or something serious comes up. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I got a lot of advice from my friends. They say, oh, if you have a problem, just solve it with your husband directly. You cannot call your dad or let your husband call his parents, because both of your parents are gonna hate you guys. It's gonna make it worse for sure. And the people I know very well, because they always call their parents and ask help from their parents. Their husband or wife gonna have a problem with their parents-in-law. That's not good.
Oh no, yeah, you want to avoid anything that's going to complicate your relationship. Relationship with your extended family, both for both parties.
That's right.
Well, there's another thing that I just thought of that you guys made me think of is, I think one thing that's really important is to make each other laugh.
You are right. A lot of people mention about this. We have to make each other laugh. It can make our relationship longer.
Like a good dose of humor could solve a lot of things. And I just found from my own relationships that if you can make your partner happy, make them laugh, make them giggle, whatever you want to call it, it builds a lot of good feelings and goodwill.
You're right. One of our friends, the guy, he's African and his wife is Japanese. To be surprised, they have a very harmony marriage. They get along very well. Of course, they have some conflict, but the African guy, he gave us advice. He said, try to make each other laugh, to feel happy. Mm-hmm. It's very good for your marriage. Yeah, we really appreciate him. And we also appreciate you, Sean. That's very good and useful advice for everyone.
My opinion is we can always learn from each other. That's why I'm doing this podcast.
Yeah, your podcast gonna help more people in this world. I believe so.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment, and I hope so. And I hope that, when people listen to episodes like this, they can gain a lot of insight and learn more about the world and relationships, etc.
Yeah. Did I make you laugh? Sometimes.
You did.
Really? When?
I'm going to tell you later.
Don't be shy. Let's share the happiness with the audience and Sean. He started to be shy.
There's a lot of things there.
And one fun thing that I've seen couples do is sometimes they'll play jokes and pranks on each other. Some of which I don't recommend, but others are pretty good.
His face is very cute. I mean, every time when I see his face, I feel, wow, my husband has a cartoon face, like a Japanese cartoon. It's very hilarious. It brings me a lot of happiness.
Oh, that's great. That's great to hear. Well, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time today to talk about your relationship, background till now, and a lot of the things you both learned, and what advice you can give to people who may be considering or who want to get into a relationship with someone from a different country or a different culture. And I think every couple, regardless of where they are, they're going to have their pros and cons. They're going to have their good times, bad times. But I think, like you both have hinted at, going into it with the right attitude and mental state is very important, and you should also know what you're getting into. So, maybe if I meet someone from this country, I like them, I'll start reading up or doing some research on, in a general sense about the place, the people, other things, because it may not solve everything, but it'll at least give you some background on what you may expect or what you may encounter at some point.
Yeah, thanks to you, Sean. We had a great time today, and it's a very nice conversation with you. Yeah, we learned a lot, and we really enjoyed the time today.
Well, I'm happy, and I'm glad you guys took the time to, to talk with me and to share a bit about your relationship. And I guess before we sign off, any final thoughts or lasting comments for?
Actually, we want to give our best wishes for everyone. We hope they could find the right person in their life, and they could have a happy marriage. And I hope they have enough wisdom to manage their marriage. Marriage is difficult for everyone, so don't give up.
Yeah, I hope they're going to have a same thoughts. This is the most important thing.
You mean couples have same mind?
Same mind.
No, yes. Both very well said, and I completely agree. So guys, it's doing great having you today. I really appreciate it. Learned a lot. It was fun talking. Hope to have you guys back on another episode to talk about this or the other things. So I hope everyone has enjoyed this episode. It's always interesting to learn about relationships and people from different backgrounds and how they can get together and work out and all the dynamics that are involved. So this has been another episode of International Immersion. Check us out on our Facebook page, Instagram page, and LinkedIn page of the same name. And if you're curious or would like to share something interesting or collaborate, shoot us an email at internationalimmersionpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear what you had to say. And until next time, this has been another episode. See you on the next one. Stay safe until the pandemic ends so we can get back out and travel and explore the world and meet new people. And with that, we'll see you on the next one.